Randy, and we'll go right to our phone caller, Sherri, in El Dorado, Kansas. Hi, Sherri.
Hi. Thank you for taking my call.
My pleasure.
I had a couple of questions that I'm really concerned about. The first one concerns Matthew 6, 9 through 13. Now, this is where Christ is trying to teach his disciples how to pray appropriately. And it says in that prayer, he's praying to God, and it says, lead us not into temptation, as if God would lead us into temptation. And I don't quite understand why that's in there like that, because God doesn't do the tempting, Satan does.
Right. Well, let me explain that to you. This is a grammatical construction, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. This is what I would call an example of a synonymous parallelism. In other words, the first part says virtually the same as the second part. Another way of saying that is these are two ways of saying the same thing. So to be led into temptation is to be exposed to the onslaught of the evil one. And therefore, the temptation is not the kind of which James speaks in James chapter 1, an inward, internal inclination towards lust, but rather something that's external, an incitement or testing by the evil one or Satan himself. So that's what's going on. But I think there's more to this. I mean, this is beautiful, and it's multi-layered and multifaceted. For example, when you pray, lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one, you acknowledge that God is sovereign over all things, including the temptations of the devil. And that's why Augustine rightly referred to the devil as the ape of God, and Luther called the devil God's devil. So while the enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour, at the end of the day, he's a lion on a leash, the length of which is determined by the Lord.
Oh, well, then that would explain why he had to go to God to ask permission to attack Job.
Well, yeah, and that's exactly right. At the end of the day, that is right. Everything is ultimately under the sovereign control of a God who is the God of every single square inch of the universe and is in charge of everything that happens, not only in the angelic realm, but also in the human realm. By the way, whenever we pray, lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one, we're also reminded to look forward to the day when we will be completely set free from all temptations. And the very fact that Jesus withstood the temptations in the wilderness is our guarantee that one day soon the kingdom will be ours, and the tempter will be thrown into the lake of burning sulfur, and temptations will be no more. We will enter that golden city with divine assurance that nothing impure will ever enter it, nor will anyone who does what is shameful or deceitful, but only those whose names are written in the Lamb's book of life.